So guys, boom. One thing that you need to realize about high school basketball, especially in today's world, there's a difference between play on the court. There's a difference between highlights. There's a difference between rankings. There's a difference between social media and the actual real life and how good overall players are in reality. And with all due respect to players like Mikey and Bronny, who are essentially the social media icons and most popular players in today's high school game, trust me, there's a lot other players that I feel like not a lot of people really talk about. And as good as Mikey Williams is, as good as Bronny James is, as good as Julian Newman was, or even players like Jared McCain, all I'm saying is that there's a lot of other players that I feel like not a lot of people really mention, especially as far as how good of players that they are. And I don't know if you guys have actually seen this list, but MaxPreps, they actually just released the All-American teams and first team and second team and third team for each specific classes. But in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the junior class. And if you guys don't know who MaxPreps is or what this list is about, essentially these are the top 15 players throughout the entire country that pretty much had a standout season. They had a great overall season. They took their game to the next level. Some of them were on stage, some of them showed improvements. There's a lot of factors that can really go into making an all-American team like this. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at each of these specific three teams, some notable players that I feel like you definitely need to tap into, and also introduce you guys to some new players besides players like Mikey and Bronny and the whole crew just like that. But you watching this video, yes, I'm talking to you. Stop sleeping after 2 a.m. and waking up at 8. Guys, that's not healthy. You're not growing. You need to start drinking your milk. Go to sleep early. You'll go get you some vitamin C, vitamin D, all that. Guys, you watching this video, what are your overall opinions on this All-American team? And do you even think Mikey and Bronny should make this top 15 team? Who are some notable players on this list that you guys feel like deserve much more attention? Who should be the #1 player in the class? Guys, anything basketball related, just comment down below. Let's get a great basketball conversation started. We're also so close to 20,000 subscribers. So if you're new to the channel and if you love basketball content like this, definitely consider subscribing, guys. It helps the channel out in so many ways you guys have no idea. And also smash that like button. But guys, so much to take away from this specific list. Now, if you take a look at this first team, so notable players that I feel like are on this specific first team are guys like DJ Wagner, Simeon Wiltshire, Mackenzie McBuckbo. If you guys noticed, they have 3 players. This list, the first team, they have 3 players that is from the state of New Jersey. And I've been trying to tell people, guys, as good as Texas is, as good as Florida, California, North Carolina, New Jersey is definitely a state that I feel like is pretty slept on as it pertains to basketball. And there's so many great players that's in that specific state. They have the #1 player in the junior class. They have the #1 player in the senior class. They also have the #1 player in the sophomore class as well. And DJ Wagner's being the #1 overall ranked player in the country currently, he's definitely putting on for the city. And like I said, players like Simeon Wiltshire, I feel like he's a player that definitely deserves a lot more attention. And if you guys even remember too, his team, Roseville Catholic, they actually beat DJ Wagner and Camden in the finals in the Tournament of Champions, and the game went down wire to wire. And this was definitely a game that I feel like put Simeon Wiltshire to be a definite top 5 to 8 player in the entire country. I believe he's currently top 12 as of now, but I guarantee you after this season or whenever these next rankings come out, Simeon is definitely going to be a player that I feel like is going to be a top 5 to 8 player. Like I said, definitely check him out if you haven't already. He's a great overall player, can get to the basket with ease, has great court awareness, great overall IQ, actually plays defense. And he's also a player that I feel like could honestly be the #1 player in the country. Ron Holland is another player that I feel like people just definitely need to tap into. He's actually in my home city / state out here in Duncanville in Dallas, Texas. He's actually the player that won the Junior of the Year. So like I said, with all these stacked talent, all these great players in the class, and the fact that Ron Holland as a 6'8", 6'9"-ish power forward who also led his team to state, who also almost led his team to an undefeated season, guys, overall great player, can do everything well on the floor. I know I may get a lot of flack for this, but I definitely feel like he could play college basketball next season if he honestly wanted to. I'm telling you, Gigi Jackson is a player that I feel like emerged this year. Not a lot of people were actually considering him to be a top 5 player in the class. But once Rivals.com rated him as the #1 overall ranked player, that's when I started to hear GG Jackson's name come out a lot more. And if you guys actually just sit down and watch this dude play, he's definitely legit, has all the tools, the tangibles, the ability to score the ball, the ability to play the defensive position, plays with a lot of energy on the floor, and he's a guy that's gonna mandatory get you 20 points and at least 12 rebounds. So taking a look at the second team, Justin Edwards, Jared McCain, Reed Shepard, Sean Stewart, Jacoby Walters, all these players are players that I was really keeping an eye on throughout this entire season. And Justin Edwards, he had a phenomenal season, and the school he goes to, I believe, is called Imhotep Chart. I really don't know how to say that name, but if you guys don't know who he is, he's an overall great player that can really shoot it from the outside. I personally like his cool and calm and collective play style. He's also another player that plays with a lot of energy on the floor. And speaking of energy, Jared McCain, guys, everybody and their mama knows that this dude will literally drop 30 points and it will go on TikTok and start dancing. As much as people may hate the dancing or saying this and that, ain't gonna lie, Jared McCain, he easily has one of the most haters out of every single player in high school, period. I mean, the things I see people talk about this man Jared, but the fact that he's winning, the fact that he's committed to Duke, the fact that he's actually legit and dropped 30 points against Duncanville and Ron Holland, the player who just won Junior of the Year, and Jared McCain led his team to win the state title this year as well. And just his overall game, his ability to shoot it from the outside, and just his overall game and specifically his shooting ability, Jared McCain is definitely a player that I feel like definitely deserves a lot more attention. And even guys like Reed Shepard, Sean Stewart, Jacoby Walters. I had a chance to watch Jacoby Walters in the regional state finals, and he eventually led his team to that state championship game. I'm telling you, Jacoby Walters, he affects the game in so many different ways. There's times where his shot is not falling, but he will still lead his team to the promised land in other ways, whether that's defense, whether that's the energy, whether it's the play calling, whether it's grabbing the boards. So many different things that Jacoby Walters does, and I personally love his play style, and I'm honestly interested to see just what school exactly and what program he's actually going to commit to. Guys, the third team, you have Marvel Allen, Freddie DeLoyne, Robert Dillingham, Aiden Holloway, London Johnson. Guys, obviously Robert Dillingham and Aiden Holloway are the guys that I feel like everybody and their mama wants to hear about. We all know what Robert Dillingham did, averaging close to 30 points for Donda Academy. I definitely feel like Aiden Holloway transferring to La Lumiere was the best thing that he could have did for his high school career. I definitely feel like once this new rankings come out, he's gonna be a definite top 15 to 20 player in the country. La Lumiere, if I'm not mistaken, he actually played the hardest schedule out of everybody on this list. La Lumiere, they're in the same conference as guys like IMG and Montverde Academy and Sunrise Christian, the top schools in the country. And the fact that Aiden was still able to produce, definitely got to clap it up for Aiden Holloway. I definitely like London Johnson from North Cross High School. Same with Marvel Allen and Freddie DeLoyne. All players that I feel like you guys definitely need to tap into. Like I said, there's so many players in high school that I feel like not a lot of people really talk about or really give much attention. This video specifically, I kind of want you guys to really just sit down and look up each of these specific names. Get familiar with their play style, their careers, this and that. I'm telling you, a lot of these players are going to be the future in college and even eventually the NBA, and just don't get caught up in the social media players or the highlights or this and that. It's an honor to be on specific lists like this, and like I said, I'm just here to give it attention. But you watching this video, I want to know your opinions overall on these specific lists. Guys, just comment down below, comment down some players that you feel like deserve some much more attention. I want to know your opinions on this list. Anything basketball related, just comment down below. Let's get a great basketball conversation started. Guys, if you made it to the end, please make sure you double check to see if you smashed that like button. Guys, it helps the channel out in so many ways. You guys have no idea. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers as well. Hit that red button, guys. It's literally free. It helps the channel out, helps the small creators out. New video tomorrow as well. If you guys enjoy videos like this, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the Discord down below, do all that fun stuff. And yeah, with all that being said, guys, thank you for watching, and it's been another episode of Juice Made TV. Peace.